Hey, what's good, gamers? Aquilon here, and of course, welcome back to each and every one of you. So I'm sitting here, I'm having my coffee, and I'm actually doing research on a new video about the Scarlet Crusade, looking at their entire history and if anything's changed, specifically now with, well, two new scenarios that include them, the Forsaken one and now the Taking Back of Gilneas. And then something pops into my head, a thought that I just can't shake. And I immediately thought, wait a second, turn on OBS, talk to the community. Let's try and figure this out as we go. All right, so I want to talk about the demons of Azeroth. Now, let's just quickly do a bit of research, a bit of history, just a bit of lore, so that everyone knows where the demons actually come from. So according to the Titans, which is at this point really the only, let's call it, credible source of the earliest times of our galaxy, of the Great Beyond, as it is called. According to the Titans, there was this ocean of light, it exploded, and then it never actually says where the darkness or the void comes from. But what it does say is that at the edges where the void and the light clashed fiercest, this new dimension started to develop. And the Titans call this dimension the Twisting Nether. Now, like I said, the Titans never actually go into detail about where this ocean of light actually originated from or where the void comes from. So basically, the Titans assert in this that the original two forces were that of the light and the void. Everything else is extrapolations of the light and the void. The Twisting Nether, however, is the only cosmological force that is directly attributed to both the light and the void. This is where the ancient philosophy or the ancient prophecies come from, the child of light and shadow that will ultimately, bring peace and will ultimately lead to the light's greatest victories. Anyways, that's not what I want to talk about. Just that's the lore, that's the backstory. Now everyone is on board. Inside this new pocket dimension, the Twisting Nether, things work very, very differently. Okay, so time inside the Twisting Nether is really just a construct. It can feel like 15 minutes in the Great Beyond can be thousands of years in the Twisting Nether. This was one of the things that Sargeras used to his advantage, because being in the Twisting Nether would grant him the opportunity to really prepare for any and all incursions, and he would have more time than anyone else, because a year would pass for us on Azeroth, but thousands of years would pass for him. So he really had time to get everything just right and to basically breed this army of his. But Sargeras wasn't in charge of the demons. Now, the demons are never actually expressed or told expressly where they come from. All we know is that this pocket dimension, the Twisting Nether, and from what I can understand at least, the Twisting Nether is sort of layered on top of our Great Beyond. So we have the Great Beyond, and then another dimension above that, we have the Twisting Nether. And the reason for it is the demons can use the Twisting Nether to traverse massive distances and basically pop up anywhere they want. Karazhan on Azeroth actually penetrates through both of these realities. This is what makes Karazhan one of the most powerful buildings that we have on Azeroth, or landmarks that we have on Azeroth, because Karazhan exists at the same time, simultaneously, in the Great Beyond as well as in the Twisting Nether. So this should suggest that, maybe not wholly, but the Twisting Nether is very close to the Great Beyond. The demons and their origins are never actually discussed or described or even ventured into guesses. All we know is that the Twisting Nether appears to be the natural home of the demons. Now, the question that made me make this video is why? Why did the demons attack? What was it that drove the demons to attack? Now, your first argument may be, well, Sargeras.
Duh.
Sargeras wanted to destroy all life in the universe. But that's not true. Because Sargeras' earliest mission, the earliest reason for Sargeras' existence was to defeat and destroy the demon incursions in the Great Beyond. That was literally his only job. While the other Titans were off looking for other nascent world souls, Sargeras' job was to go around the Great Beyond and destroy demons. Eventually, Sargeras realized that these demons keep coming back. So something in the Twisting Nether is reanimating them once they die. And so Sargeras created Mordoon, or found Mordoon. This is a planet in the Great Beyond. At least we think it's in the Great Beyond. It never actually describes where Mordoon is. Is it in the Twisting Nether? Is it in... We don't actually know. But we know that Mordoon is then used by Sargeras as a prison world. You see, Sargeras came up with this phenomenal plan. If I kill them, they come back. If I imprison them, they're there. What's interesting about Mordoon, however, is that just the demons being on Mordoon fills the entire planet with so much chaos energy, so much foul energy. So demons basically naturally excrete this foul energy that is rampant throughout the Twisting Nether. And in many ways, it almost makes it seem as if the natural laws on Mordoon also started to change as the demons were there and they were creating this foul energy that just seeps into everything around them. Perhaps that may be where the Twisting Nether comes from. Perhaps the Titans have it completely wrong. So it's actually the demons, just their natural way of being, created this pocket. I don't know, but that's not what the video is about. Okay, so Sargeras goes around, he does this. Eventually, Sargeras finds the Nathrezim, and the Nathrezim tell him about the Void Lords. This, of course, is still according to the Titans. And this is when Sargeras has a new plan, right? Sargeras goes, wait. You're telling me that there are these incredibly dangerous beings that wants to control everything and bring about the Hour of Twilight? Not on my watch. So Sargeras realizes that he has to kill everything, which is a massive overreaction. But this is, again, according to the Titans. The Titans may actually be embellishing a lot here. But I have to stop and kill everything, because Sargeras' argument here was that if life once before developed, then it will develop again. But by destroying everything now, it gives us an opportunity that when it happens again, we will be around from the beginning, which will then give us the opportunity to stop the void at the source. So stop the void before they throw their essence into the Great Beyond and infest all of these thousands upon thousands of planets with their old gods, their essences. This is his plan. Of course, the Titans will have none of this. The Titans hear this and they have a full meltdown. How dare you? How could you even begin to fathom or think about stuff like this? Sargeras realizes, well, they don't know what the hell they're talking about. I'll do my own thing. And he goes off and he's really living his best life. He decides then to take this force that he has encountered, right, and turn it into his force. So the reason I'm telling you the story is this gives you absolute evidence that the demons, even before Sargeras, had this consistent need to flood into the Great Beyond and attack things, right? For some reason, we don't actually know. Remember, according to the Titans, the demons are just demons. There are no demon lords. There are no demon pantheons out there. It's just the demons running around killing and slaughtering and basically causing chaos wherever they go, because it's what they like, you know? It's a Friday night. What else are you going to do? Get drunk and destroy a planet. Of course, that's the most fun thing to do, really, for the demons at least. Now, you may be saying, well, the demons obviously want to destroy. They need to eat. They need to feed. We don't actually know. Funnily enough, the demons in World of Warcraft very much resemble the Tyranids in Warhammer 40k. But the Tyranids in Warhammer 40k have a very specific reason for why they absorb and consume entire planets. They need the matter. The matter of the planet is what allows them to sustain themselves and to breed more of what they are. The demons, there's no evidence that that is actually what the demons are after in the Great Beyond. And you may be saying, well, Akalon, remember the Pit Lords. Maybe it's the Pit Lords that were sending these demons out to collect flesh or to collect relics of power or whatever the case may be. Well, in this, I would say you are ignoring another part of the equation. Sargeras specifically sought out the Eredar in order to create generals for his army. Because when Sargeras ultimately opened Mordoon and all of that foul energy infected him, he now had a very, very efficient force at destroying things. The issue is that this force just wants to destroy things. It doesn't give a shit about goals or about lofty ideals or ideas. It goes and it destroys, and it will even destroy each other if that is what is required. If there's no one else to fight, we'll fight each other. That's basically how the demons operate. They basically seem like a mindless force, according to the Titans. All right? So Sargeras has to employ the Eredar. He manages to convince them by appearing as a being of light. It's only really the Draenei that see through this, and they ultimately go their own way. You know, they're like, nah, fam, we good. We think we're not going to go along with this. The others, Archimon and Kil'jaeden, they're like, all right, yeah, we'll give this a go. We'll give it our best shot. Let's see how this plays out. So now you have to split. The Draenei, you know, they go do their own thing, and Archimon and Kil'jaeden and the other Eredar join then Sargeras, and they become the generals of the demons. Because even in the Chronicles, it states that while the Pit Lords are more intelligent than their average demon, they're still incredibly prone to just going off and doing their own thing, right? Just living their best life. Who gives a crap? We want to destroy things. This leads me to the question that I asked in the beginning. Why? The demons are more than happy to fight each other if there is nothing left to fight. The demons' natural place in our galaxy is the Twisting Nether. The Twisting Nether is large. From what we can understand, you could spend an entire lifetime of an elf, basically immortality, right? An immortal number of years in the Twisting Nether, and still you will be lost in there. That's how big that place is. It's not as if the demons were running out of space. So what exactly was driving the demons into the great beyond? Well, my thoughts on this is literally a pantheon. A pantheon of demon lords have one goal and one goal only. And I also think I know what the demons do in the great beyond. You see, I don't think the Twisting Nether was always as large as it was claimed to be. And Mordoon gives us the secret here. Mordoon reveals the game. Just by imprisoning the demons on Mordoon, Mordoon started to resemble the Twisting Nether far more than the great beyond. The demons are an invasionary force with one sole objective: to expand the Twisting Nether. Every planet that they destroy is absorbed into the Twisting Nether, and thus the Twisting Nether grows. So, we have the Light and their Army of the Light. The Army of the Light has one sole reason for existence: the conquering of Azeroth. We have the Titans and their ordering with one sole reason for doing this: the conquering of Azeroth. We have Death and whatever the fuck they're doing, but we know Zuval wanted to conquer Azeroth. And now we have the demons with the exact same plan: conquer and keep conquering and keep conquering until such time that the entirety of the Great Beyond exists within the Twisting Nether, thus perhaps granting access to the Demon Pantheon. Perhaps that's why we've never been able to see the Demon Pantheon. That's why we've never seen a Pantheon of the demons, because they have no way of getting into our reality. Like the Void Lords, they can't exist in our reality. They require the Twisting Nether to exist. Just sort of spitballing here, right? But this was interesting to me because Most people just assume that the demons exist and the demons do what they do, but you have a mindless force of destroyers that seemingly have a very clear goal. They want to destroy the great beyond. If destruction was all they sought, they had the entirety of the Twisting Nether to do so. They didn't need to come to the great beyond. And yet, consistently, time and time again, even after being killed by Sargeras, they're back. They're assaulting new planets in the great beyond, right? I mean, you can understand how some demons may accidentally arrive on a planet and be like, oh, well, new planet to kill, right? But being killed and then being right back once they reanimate. And then, of course, we can start looking at Argus. Argus, by every metric, is a titan much like Azeroth. And by every metric, Argus was once a normal titan, nascent world soul waiting to be born. Sargeras somehow managed to tie the processes of Argus into the demon's reanimation. I want to make this clear. I do not believe and I do not adhere to the idea that the demons could only reanimate thanks to Argus. According to all of the lore we have and all of the discussions that we've had, it's not Argus that allowed the demons to be reborn. Argus simply sped up the process. So where naturally it would take thousands of years for a demon to be reborn, Argus could do it in maybe a year, maybe 6 months. By using the energy, the anima effectively of Argus, they could speed up the process. And Argus, if you look at it, started to resemble much more that of the Twisting Nether. In fact, Argus was in the Twisting Nether. This is why we're told when we killed the demons on Argus, we were killing the demons in the Twisting Nether. So all of the demons that we felled on Argus truly did die. They exist no more. They may exist in other timelines, but they do not exist in our timeline. But Argus wasn't always in the Twisting Nether. We know this because it was home to the Eredar. And we know that they were not from the Twisting Nether. I think it's interesting. Yeah.